What's up, Bulls Nation? It's the Bloody Horns podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Let's get into it, man. So, disappointing loss last night against the Celtics. You know, the Celtics, they're a good team. Probably the best team in the NBA. I think record-wise, they are the best team in the NBA. You watch them last night, you're like, that is a championship team right there. They got depth everywhere. That backcourt of Derek White and Drew Holiday, not only can it harass you on defense, but they make their open shots. Jason Tatum's a special player. You know, he had a soft first half, then he comes out that third quarter and just eviscerates the Chicago Bulls. Jaylen Brown's a damn good player, too. He gets a lot of hate. I remember I got a lot of hate last year on my Twitter page because I said Jaylen Brown is better than Zach LaVine. Bulls fans came after me. I think I've been proven right on that. Jaylen Brown's way better than Zach LaVine. And then they got the big court depth, too. You know, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, obviously. Kornet came in, gave them good minutes last night. The Xavier Tillman ad is going to be a big ad, even though they didn't use him last night. So they got depth everywhere. They got nice pieces. Sam Hauser's a good shooter off the bench. They're a true championship core. You look at them and you see that roster, and then you look at the Bulls and you see their roster, and you think, how could AK ever think the Bulls can be competitive? But that's a debate for a different day. With the Chicago Bulls, last night was another game where it proved that the math just isn't there with this team. The math ain't mathing with the Chicago Bulls. This has been a consistent theme for the last, 2-3 years, pretty much ever since we put this core together, to be honest. Lonzo helped balance it out a little bit, but without Lonzo, man, the math just ain't mathing for this Bulls squad. Last night, the Celtics, they made 23 three-pointers. The Bulls, they only made 10. That's a consistent theme. You know, it's really hard to win games when the other team is getting those additional points like that. Pace-wise, the Bulls dropped the ball last night, too. At one point, I'm not quite sure what we finished with, but at one point, the Celtics had a fast break point advantage of 16-2 to the Bulls. So you're playing slow. You're not shooting threes. The math just ain't there. You're not going to win very many games like that. Nikola Vucevic, he had a great first half. 20 points on 12 shots. I even tweeted at halftime. I was like, 20 points on 12 shots. Great job, Vooch. I'm never complimenting this motherfucker again. Because then the second half, he went 1 for 7. Finishes with 22 points on 19 shots. Not efficient at all. If you guys watched the 5 keys to victory yesterday, before the game, one of my keys was we can't have Vooch have one of those 20 points on 18 shot type games. 22 on 19 shots. He pretty much did the same shit. So, you know, he's just not an efficient bucket getter. He's a high volume shooter who brings nothing else to the game. Do not give me his rebounding stats. Don't give me any of that. He gets the most, statistically, he does get the most easy rebounds in the NBA. You look at the leading rebounders in the NBA, he by far has the lowest total rebounding percentage. So that means he is getting the easiest rebounds, the gimme rebounds. Nikola Vucevic, he's just not very good. And there's still people who ride for him hard on Twitter, on social media. Don't understand how you do it, but shout out to you. Keep doing your thing, I guess. So with the Chicago Bulls, when Vooch is playing inefficient, when the math isn't mathing, it's going to be hard for them to win a lot of basketball games. They got the Pelicans next. That's going to be a tough game. I was really disappointed in that Celtics game that we didn't see any of the Twin Towers together. Drummond and Vucevic together, kind of the perfect matchup for them with how many times the Celtics were throwing out Porzingis and Horford, or Porzingis and Kornet, or Horford and Kornet. You know, some mix of bigs. They had a lot of bigs on the court at all times. Bulls could have matched up well with it. You saw Drummond, anytime he had Kornet on him, he took it as disrespect. He put his shoulder in his chest. He got himself a bucket. So the Bulls should have relied on the Twin Towers a little bit more. I'm going to be interested to see what they do against the Pelicans, because if you start Alex Caruso at the 4 against Zion Williamson, you should be fired immediately. I don't know what the fuck you're even trying to accomplish with that. So, going to be an interesting game. One of those games, too. The Pelicans are good this year, guys. The Pelicans are 34-22. They are much better than the Chicago Bulls, so don't get your hopes up for that one. But I'll be back tomorrow. We'll break down some more Chicago Bulls stuff. Bulls aren't back till Sunday, so at least we get a little break from this team after the disappointment that was last night. If you guys aren't following on social media yet, handles all the same, at Horns Bloody, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. If you haven't listened to the new podcast yet, it's up on Apple, it's up on Spotify. It was the 5 questions the Bulls got to answer coming out of All-Star break. Last night, they didn't answer any of those questions. So take it easy, guys.